Some people say content is king. So whatever agenda you want to push, whatever idea you want to push, content is a great way to push it. And then if we want to push positive ideas, a positive agenda to the next generation, it's a great way to start using content. Our own history, for example, have a lot of content ideas, even people, places, how the cultures and all of that, the languages, it's expansive. We're starting and growing, and it will only get wider and bigger.
Yes, it is the Christmas Eve edition of Just Africa on Soap News Television. And we say welcome and hello to you. Welcome to Just Africa on Soap News Television. Once again, here we'll break down trends, spotlight opportunities, and tell the African stories differently. And in a continent shaped by oral tradition, visual media has become the modern village square, breaking literacy barriers, amplifying local languages, and turning culture into a powerful learning tool. Beyond entertainment, this shift is redefining language learning and cultural pride. When stories are told in familiar voices and local tongues, learning becomes instinctive, memory becomes stronger, and culture stays alive. I am Omevi Idolor, and I'm not doing this alone. I have my favorite person with me in the studio.
Without lying, yeah. I can see the excitement in your face. Tomorrow's Christmas, I'm really excited.
Oh, yeah.
that getting to see when we, prepare to eat and marry together. But then again, let's not forget the reason for the season.
Yeah.
Importantly. But hello Lagos, hello Nigeria, hello Africa. We're here again to discuss how we can better the continent. And we're looking at it from a very, very interesting conversation. The program we had on Monday with Ryan, when she was talking about, telling stories of books and how you can get kids to start to read. And then the interesting part for me was when she was saying you can start reading to babies in their wombs and it's time to learn your voice. I was like, okay, I don't say that we did practice with us. No, but it was a good takeaway. And then to now have this conversation again, but from a different perspective, right? We're looking at how to use films and animations, not films, but say that are used to like Nollywood, Gollywood, and right. We're talking about cartoons, animations, to tell stories in forms that even kids can relate. And then we had a very, very, very good person. Let me just put that right, because maybe just said in there, I want to come. I want to have this conversation with you because a lot of these kind of stories need to be told. Yeah. And then when he shared some of his works with me, I was like, so how come a lot of us are not thinking this way? Because truly, Africa is blessed with a lot of talent. We just need to find a way to harness it, use it for greater good, and we can conquer a lot. We can change mindset. We can build people to become what we want them to see on the continent, to make the continent to be better. I was watching some of his things and he was talking about the SDGs. You said he's going to talk about SDGs and get kids to embrace it and be part of it. Like, wow, this is a great show. And I need to bring somebody like this to come here and have that conversation with us.
Yeah, Just Africa is not just a show where we do the norms. Yeah, we don't just stick to culture. We don't just stick to tradition. We do everything concerning development. So when we see people who are skilled at a particular thing, not necessarily craft or handwork, we ensure that they come on this platform to come and express themselves, because it is very important. Children are learning, and if we want to have a better Africa, if we want to stop these brain drains, if we want to stop this Jackpot syndrome, it starts from now. You understand? So someone with that kind of mind who understands the power of cartoon, of course. Cartoons are not just for children.
I love watching cartoons. I don't know.
Every adult that is young at heart is always interested in cartoons. I watch more of animations than normal movies or adult movies, human movies rather, because there is a whole lot of stories a whole lot of morals that are packed into some of these animations. It's just that these days certain things are not just right, but that you can't rule it away that you are able to gather children together. Now, we don't have a village square anymore. There is nobody in Lagos that want to sit under a tree and start. So our new village square is our TV. So what do you bring to TV for you to pass message to children? Of course, it is things like this.
You know, in the last couple of days, I mean, even our viewers will acknowledge that we've had very brilliant people come on the show. I mean, we had Sarah Yusuf come and then talk to us about understanding that people learn differently, right? And then we had Rayo come and tell us about using books to talk to kids, let them know. And then we've had people come, like someone like Sammy Sage, come and say, okay, you want to use poems, you know, they're using the talking, spoken words to pass your message as well. And then now we're looking at animations as well to do the same thing. The thing is, there are so many avenues that you can learn if that is your goal. And you know, children will learn at a different pace. Some want to learn by reading the book. Some want to learn by watching movies. Some want to learn by listening to nursery rhymes or songs. Some want to learn by you just talking to them. And then the fact that these avenues are available, it also opens the children's mind or the young people's mind to possibilities. And it means you cannot miss out on anything at all. Like, even if you want to help these children in one form, this one does not work, you try this other one. This one doesn't work, you try options.
And our guest is Jimi Ojikutu. I hope I pronounced that well. He brings nearly a decade of expertise in film, animation, motion graphics, and content creation, blending creativity and strategy to deliver visually compelling stories that resonate across audiences. He is also the director and producer at Jingla Nation, founder of Very Easy Learning, an innovative platform promoting Nigerian languages through interactive and entertaining visual content. He has led the production of TV commercials, documentaries, corporate films, and digital content, demonstrating how storytelling can influence perception, engagement, and cultural impact. By making language learning accessible, enjoyable, and culturally relevant, he is redefining how Africans connect with their heritage while leveraging modern technology. So you see, we were not just blowing anybody's trumpet. Jimi is who he says he is. Hello, Jimi. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Yeah, how's getting to the studio?
It was smooth.
Yes, it's good.
Lagos is thinning out.
Holiday season, so I guess the traffic is a bit
eased up,
Yeah, maybe till in the evening anyways. Okay. All right, let's have this conversation. Languages, animation. You are helping to promote the African language and making people to understand what it is. Now, how are you doing this? Helping everyone, or Africans generally, to expand the importance of our traditions?
Well, I mean, very easy languages. We want people to be able to connect, especially Nigerians in the diaspora and even Nigerians here, to connect with their local languages, you know, because our local languages is one thing that we're gradually losing. You know, you have kids that don't know how to speak their local languages. But yeah, with content, you can make our local languages cool. So that's what we're trying to do. We're using animation, and even with learning generally, we want to use content to drive language learning, to drive education. You know, we talk about getting education to the unlearned. So we believe content is a way to connect with these people, you know, have them learn in their local languages, learn concepts of science, learn history, learn all of that. And then also for people that might not find education interesting or fun, you know, want to make learning fun. You know, learning is fun.
Learning is fun.
Especially depending on how it's
exactly. I don't know if I want to jump, but you've already started that process of turning learning into fun. Do children really see it that way, that yes, doing this, learning this is fun for me?
I mean, for example, when we're growing up, there are certain things that we learned with music and rhymes, and those things seem to stick.
better.
You know,
Yes.
yeah, they stick
Yes.
better because sometimes you might even be able to remember those rhymes now. So that's what learning. Some people learn visually. Some people learn with music. Like you can teach you can teach science, the what's it called, mathematics, the arts, languages, with fun content. That way, I mean, even social studies.
Yes.
You know, financial learning, all of those things, all these concepts can be taught with animations, music, fun, you know, the concept of climate change. So with animation, with music and all of that, the kids get to understand it. They see characters, they see people dancing, they see people moving, and with music they get to, they have fun, but they are already learning what they need to learn. While
you didn't even lie, because the truth is many of us don't even remember the months that have 30 days and the ones that have 31 until we sing the song. 30 days in September.
You sing it in your head.
Let's have 31. Oh, that's true. Oh, this particular one has 30 and 31. But if you mixing film, animation, storytelling, cartoons, and all, where did it start for you and why did you go into it?
Well, I've been in production, but I mean, if I'll say where it started, you know, people say it started when I was from my mother's, not really from my mother's. But when I was, I mean, much younger, I would usually draw comics.
Okay.
Yeah, so I used to do comics as my dad was an artist.
Oh.
So yeah, so I don't know whether I think maybe
no, you did.
genes.
No, you did. I did. You did.
So draw comics, write stories, you know, I write the stories and then draw the comics and all of that, and get, you know, do the whole comics, get my friends in school to read it.
Okay.
You know, at some point they were even buying it. But I mean, professionally, after I finished school, I worked in finance for a bit. But yeah, production was calling me, so I worked with some media houses, worked in advertising and all of that. And then I founded Jingla Nation, which allows me to create my own path. And since then we've created some fun animation content. We have an original character, a Nigerian superhero, Bros Jami. Something for the SDG in Lagos.
Yes,
to help people connect with the sustainable development goals like climate change, gender equality, you know, with fun characters, you know. And this way, some of these concepts stick. And then I've been doing commercials, documentaries and all of that. And basically that's the path where
yes, I love the fact that you're not just sticking to the entertainment part of the cartoon. You are bringing in very deep knowledge when it comes to SDG, the climate change, gender equality, and the likes. These are things that children don't really have very deep understanding about. But I know that with cartoon, yes, they understand. But the question is this, you know, when it comes to this kind of topics, I don't know how children would want to show interest in it. Because I don't know, is it widely accepted? That should even be the question.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of kids spend a lot of their time on social media nowadays, on YouTube. I mean, you have kids just scrolling through YouTube shorts. Most of the content they consume would be online. And I think, I mean, content generally is consumed more online now than through traditional formats like TV and all of that. And children are not left out. So I think the best way to reach kids is through those platforms. And kids can, although with parental guidance, because kids can go all in when it comes to visual content. Because I think when kids are growing up, they're still trying to understand their world. So they get a lot of learning from visuals, what they see, the cartoons, the music they listen to, the content they consume.
Now,
so it's easy for kids
this content right now,
Yeah.
Are they in our local languages or they're in English, purely English?
Well, for the SDG, it was in English because that was the goal. You know, but we have content that we're doing for local languages as well. Basically, because when we started, it was very easy to learn languages, but we believed I wanted to take a holistic approach to it and have language learning, but also have general learning, you know, so that it's a wholesome development, you know, and then get kids to learn about even history, African history, you know, where we're coming from, because to form a positive identity, you know, because especially as Africans, we need to have a positive identity, and that we're also very passionate about that, having kids know about the amazing people from Africa, the amazing places in Africa, the kings, the kingdoms, you know, the Benin, Oyo, the CBD, you know, and all of that. So it's basically learning, but beyond languages, we also go into other areas of learning.
Have you been able to track or measure the impact that this avenue that you're using has made in the lives of maybe kids or their parents, or like great feedback from this your approach that you used to storytelling?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like for the SDG videos, for example, and it got like thousands of views and lots of positive feedback. I think it also got an award regarding sustainable development outside Nigeria, you know. And then for the language learning, we've been approached by a lot of people in the diaspora, you know, trying to
because we want their kids to also relate with that.
Absolutely. So we're trying to see what works best. Currently we're developing for YouTube, and we're also looking at maybe creating a mobile app. So we've been getting a lot of positive feedback. We've been approached by a lot of people because it's something that's very interesting to them, you know, especially Nigerians in the diaspora.
When you started, was all you're seeing now what you anticipated?
I knew that definitely it's something that'll keep growing. Some people say content is king. So whatever agenda you want to push, whatever idea you want to push, content is a great way to push it. And then if we want to push positive ideas, a positive agenda to the next generation, it's a great way to start using content. For example, a parent in the diaspora had a discussion with the kid where I think she came to ask him about slavery, you know, and all of that. I don't want to go deep into that because that's not, you know, so I told him that, okay, why not educate your kid about the concept of who we are in the first place, you know, let that be her worldview. So I sent some of our content to, and then that's the beginning of a positive conversation that a father can have with a child. Okay, you were from here, you know, you had kings, you had queens, unlike the idea that they pushed before that certain parts of Africa didn't have these. You know, we had places of learning back then. We had vast kingdoms, that we had people that traveled, you know, far across Africa and beyond Africa. So, I mean, it's our own history, for example, have a lot of content ideas, you know, even people, places, how the cultures and all of that, the languages, it's expansive. We're starting and growing gradually, but it's expansive, and it will only get wider and bigger.
Yeah. So
so we definitely saw, and then we've not even gotten to where
we wanted to be. Oh, okay.
So we're just scratching
brands and businesses, because obviously one of the things that has been a key fundamental for you is storytelling. I mean, I need to tell stories around these things that people need to know about. How can brands and businesses leverage off that, like things like storytelling? How can you help them?
Well, I mean, storytelling is a very powerful tool. I wouldn't want to mention the brand without, but I think a certain food brand used it to capture a whole generation, and I think other brands can use it as well.
Okay.
By, I mean, what I see is as immersive brand connections, where you're telling stories of the people, without generally advertising directly to them. So that's a great way that brands can connect with their audience, especially through animation. Brands that work with kids, and even brands that have a wider reach, regardless of the age.
Or the age range, okay.
Yeah, you can come from an approach of storytelling. I mean, even now, globally, there's a new wave of short form content that's growing really fast.
Yes.
As fast as the big studios, and then they want what's going on here. So that's a way brands can and then they can collaborate with production companies to create content that really connects to the hearts of their audience.
Okay. So right now, I love the fact that there are positive feedbacks, but there are some challenges that you encountered or that you are still encountering, and many other cartoonists or animation what's the right terminology for
animators.
Animators. Okay, there are challenges you face in creating this, because this is unique. So what are those challenges and how do you overcome them?
Well, I mean, the challenge, there are different challenges, challenges in capacity, like the bigger the projects you're working on, the more people you need to work on those projects. And then as a production company or as an animation company, you want to create, original content. You have what you're doing for brands. Okay, you create this for brands and all of that. But there are also what you do for that you create as an original content, and that's how the Marvels and all of that started. So we want to tell stories that are unique to us here, and at some point you need a level of financing to tell it at a scale that works. To be able to take it from your little locality to a wider audience, or to a global audience, you need finance, you need to have more animators to work with, and pretty much.
Okay.
So, capacity, so we need more animators, we need more finance, more support from easy access to finance to be able to work on bigger projects, and more support for the industry, basically. You have some of the animation industries in other countries, for example, they have a certain level of support from the government and all of that. So government needs to take it, because it's also an opportunity to employ a lot of people. You can have animation projects with hundreds of animators working on it. So it's a great way to create job opportunities for people.
Okay, so I have seen some of your work being displayed on the screen. Yes, and they look beautiful, unique, I must say, because I love cartoon. I'm very young at heart, so I love cartoon, and I have watched some Nigerian African productions, and I lose interest, maybe from the way everything was created. But there's this movie that I loved so much. It's all, of course, it is Nigerian animation and very beautiful. Then, of course, I can talk about Iyanu. Iyanu is another beautiful one that is out there now that children are loving. Now, this is it. Why did I say that? Myself and my younger ones, when we watch some cartoon, Nigerian made, we feel like this thing is not interesting. It's not fine enough. What do you think is missing in those kind of cartoon, those animation? Not what I saw on the screen right now. That is not grabbing the attention
or interest,
or people's interest, that is not holding us, compared to when we watch foreign cartoons or animation and we are glued to the screen. What's missing?
Well, I think it's there are a lot of angles to it.
Okay.
For example, there's storytelling perspective, where does it make, I mean, I think most producers, animation producers will ask themselves, would it make sense to develop your own concept and grow it when you're not sure of the distribution path?
Okay.
You understand? So would it take, how much would it take? How many animators do you need to work with? Can you access the finance to produce animation at a certain level? And then when you are able to create it, what's your distribution network? Is it going to go to the cinema? Are cinemas, would that be a viable way to recoup your investment back? Yes. So you're talking finance, you're talking investment, you're talking of human capital and all of that. Would you have the finance to maybe develop a story for a couple of months? Because the animation process is long and tedious. You know, you do your you develop the story, then you what's it called? You start developing the animatics, how the animation will look like, character design, you know, the voicing, and then you start the animation process, which is long as well. So it can take you several months to probably years to develop maybe a feature-length animation.
Whoa.
You know, maybe if you invest in a movie, you can get that out in a couple of months, you know, especially from this part of the world. So you ask yourself, okay, what's the viable form of content I want to invest in? So these are all the angles you're looking at. Finance, I want to get writers to come together for a couple of months to develop a story that can really connect with people and develop this animation. Do I get how do I access the finance to get animators from coming together? You know, animators too. Do they want to maybe work for a studio, or do they want to work on a project, a film project, for a certain period of time, knowing that they're focusing on that project for months, meaning that the producer has to create the finance structure to accommodate those animators for a couple of months to get that project out. So these are all the challenges, and that's why we talked about government financing, you know, and the skill part, the human capital.
Okay, so run us through very easy learning, right? I wanted to ask, are you a teacher? Because it's a very easy learning. You get to teach, or it's just the concept behind it? And then first off, is it are your target audience the children directly, or to schools or educational institutions that use very easy learning as a foundation?
Yeah, for very easy learning, I actually studied education technology in school, but I didn't think I was going to even
really
go that path, because I've always wanted to tell stories, animation, film, and all of that.
So you never found a way to know very easy.
So somehow, I saw content as a solution to drive education. Okay. So it sort of works out. So for very easy learning, for example, we're focusing on creating content to, you know, we want to be able to get kids to access it through their parents. Definitely, when we're promoting, we target their parents, because it's their parents that would give them access to content on YouTube, for example. And we're also looking at collaborations. We have a partner that we've been working with that is building like Wi-Fi infrastructure, for example. When you're talking about schooling the unschooled, maybe in rural areas where there's no internet access. But now, if we can have the internet access provided, I don't want to talk about the details of how, because that's the companies. But it's a solution that's very possible, and then we can plug into that infrastructure to.
Because I was going to ask, did you notice a gap in the educational system before you had to do that?
There's a gap to the unschooled and all of that, you know.
That was what this was created
for? People that are, and the schooled, you know, even kids that, like a product we're developing after school, AI-driven learning assistant, for example, where kids can get home and then ask difficult questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that they don't understand in school.
It will come as an app?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
coming as an app. So like, yeah, that can then explain these concepts in a fun, interesting way. Because I remember myself too. I had to, while going to school, whatever subject or I was being taught, I had to recreate it in a fun, interesting way for
So that you can
myself,
assimilate it,
so
okay.
that I can assimilate it. Like for physics, for example, acceleration, velocity, and all of that. And then I imagine a car moving at a. So imagine kids seeing that the car moving, when you accelerate, the tires are turning at a decreased speed over time, and that's presented as an animation. They grab the concept already.
Better. Are you a science student?
Yes, I was.
Okay, that is confusing. Because now you're doing more of arts related now.
Yeah, I mean,
He
you know,
said you love storytelling.
Why did you
I was a
just
science student in secondary school, and then I science in the university as well. That's because, then it was like, okay, art is your talent, you don't need to always have it. Just go to science, okay, you're be brilliant, so go and yeah, I mean, that was the misconception then. And that's why even now you need maybe at the school level counselors that can really understand what a child's needs are. You're artistic, okay, start developing it, because sometimes you just realize that you go a certain path for long and then you have to come
back again
to your
yeah.
passion. So that's what happens.
So you said something earlier, because I knew I was going to take you back a little. That some of the animations are done in a dialect, Yoruba precisely, right?
Yoruba, I mean, whichever language.
Whichever language. Now, so I want to take it back. You said we are gradually losing our language because at home we now speak English to our children instead of speaking our dialect. Now, you make animations for using a dialect. A child who doesn't understand a Yoruba, for instance, the Yoruba language, for instance, and is not watching the cartoon that is Yoruba made. How would a child be able to learn or understand what is being said apart from the visuals?
Yeah, so it's a gradual process. I mean, the approach now is teaching them. So, I mean, the teaching has to be English, then English teaching in Yoruba. Like, apple is this, you know. This word is, you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, it's a combination of English teaching in Yoruba. I mean, that's how, if you're learning French, for example, it will be taught in English.
Yeah.
So if English is a central language, then you can then teach non-Yoruba speaking people, non-Igbo speaking people, those languages through English, with English being the conduit.
Okay.
But then on the flip side, you can then teach people that maybe speak only a local language. And that's when you want to create like that's for literacy programs, for example, things that can be in partnership with the government and NGOs, where you want to teach people in a small town in Ondo or in Abia or in Sokoto that mainly speak their local languages, concepts of science, concepts of space, concepts of, what's it called, chemistry, biology, how the body works, how a car works, and you want them to assimilate it quickly and easily. Then we can use local languages to teach these concepts to them. So it's a two-way thing, meaning that literacy can be democratized regardless of language. Everybody can get literate. You know, a kid in Sokoto, a kid in Adamawa, a kid in Oshun that might not even be fluent in English can understand finance, savings, can understand physics, can understand science if it's being taught in their local languages.
Wow.
But for people that don't understand their local languages,
Yeah.
you can use English to teach them these languages with content.
What's your take on this whole evolution into the use of AI, right? Because I hear a lot of, for example, employers say, "Oh, this thing has made people a lot lazy." But from what you do, you see it's an added advantage because I'm probably giving you more options. I wanted to know where you stand. I mean, we understand that the continent is not so technological driven, right? Here in Africa, we're still trying to catch up. But how do you see the introduction of artificial intelligence into our curriculum as well?
Well, I mean, it's a technology that has come to stay, and it could be a tool that can be used to make work faster, and that's how I see it. So rather than maybe look at the negative sides, because it's not going anywhere, we can see how we can use it to make work better, to make learning, for example, easier, to help with research, to help with putting ideas together, to use it as a tool for development. So rather than frown against it, even for animation processes, you want to do your storyboard before the actual animation, you can do that faster. And you can write your stories faster, for example, because you can then create your character Bible faster. You can get ideas, put it together, do your research faster, and all of that. Your character design, you can do it faster, compare, research, you know. So AI is we should just see it as a tool that can be used to make work faster. It will make work faster over time. On the long run, it might make certain jobs redundant, but I think at the moment, I think over time, job roles and all of that have evolved with time. You know, you had the industrial era where most prominent jobs were manufacturing jobs, people that work in factories and all of that. And then the tech era now that you had programmers and all of that. Yeah. So there'll be new kinds of jobs. Certain jobs will evolve as well. There'll be people, voiceover artists, for example. There'll be animators. And then because of AI, there'll be voiceover artists that train AI. There'll be animators that train AI. Will AI get to the level of the people training those AI? At some point, maybe.
Perhaps.
Yeah. But then would it be now a case where we don't even need those people anymore? I think it would be more like a collaboration where those people can get tools and where maybe people can create certain kinds of content in the content space, for example, at a lower price point, so we can churn out more content, but there will also still be the demand for good human content. Yeah, there will still be the demand for a good human voiceover artist, because AI still can get certain inflections and and you just know that this thing sounds a bit.
Yeah.
So it's a case of that this is technology to be embraced and to be feared.
Well, it will be feared just like every societal advancement or every technology before it, but it will also be embraced. Yeah. So you can choose to embrace it or fear it, but I think it will be better to embrace it.
You know, for me, yes, you know, some of those things he mentioned, like you would not get some of those human emotions and elements in it. Like when you use AI to try to create the pidgin English, you don't feel it. You don't feel it. I don't feel it. I don't know. But I love hearing Africans when we talk and we hear our O in that accent of that O. You know what I'm saying?
Because it works with data. So
you understand. It's a whole lot. Okay. How do you measure impact when it comes to storytelling, animation? How do you measure that, yes, this story right now, this cartoon has impacted someone?
Well, when it comes to impact, it's what would we will call it that? I mean, when we're measuring impact, we would say it could be like a ripple effect. So if we've impacted one person, it's fantastic, and then that would make us impact 2, and then 4, and then 8, and then 500, 1,000, 100,000. And over time, it can impact a whole generation. And that's the power of content and the power of animation. One person shares it to another person.
Okay.
Parents allow their kids to have access to local content, which we need more of it. I think recently there were discussions about creating local animated content. We are working on that. We've been creating a certain character, and we've created several contents, and it is even about a local superhero, Bros Jami. And from there, we've had kids buy the T-shirts, or parents buy the T-shirts for their kids. Even adults have won, because they want, a Nigerian superhero, this superhero looks like me, we know Superman, we know Batman, but here is Bros Jami. He stays in Surulere, he stays in Mushin, he stays in Lagos, things that people can relate with. He eats amala at the local canteen. So, characters like that people can connect with. So we need more of that. We're doing our own little bit, and we want to be able to do more over time. But the impact is from one kid, telling that, when we do maybe exhibitions at fashion pop-ups with the local heroes on the T-shirt, the kids say, I want that T-shirt, I want that T-shirt. Or someone telling us, this person shared the content with them, and that we know that, they've gone round full circle, and then people saying, we can't wait for the movie. Most places we show the film. There's most festivals that we show the animated content. But when is the feature film coming out? When is the feature film coming out? Because they see, the 3-minute shot, they see the 5-minute shot. They want a whole feature film. And hopefully we'll be able to get that out to them. So that's how we feel the impact, and that's how we measure impact.
Okay, so from what we saw during the break, we've seen that you've partnered with the Lagos State government, which is a beautiful thing. Are you planning on partnering with, first of all, how did you get to partner with Lagos State SDG?
It was actually an agency that, that partnered with Lagos State government. And then we were the animators.
They
wanted to tell the story to connect kids to the SDGs, because there are actually several SDGs that are being carried out and are making impact that people would not. Sometimes you have to point people in the right direction. For example, keeping the environment cleaner is a sustainable development goal. Gender equality, making kids know that a female can also aspire to be a president, can be a lawyer, and then pointing them that these are females that are doing very well in their fields. The SDG of kicking poverty, what they've been doing in that area. So that's the power of storytelling, really. And with animation, it makes young people understand some of these concepts. Climate change, what you have to do, to prevent climate change. Not burning certain materials. Not the use of generators and car fumes and all of that. So it's about people being educated on things they can do individually, and then collectively we can make a change. And that's what content does. It will reach every individual, and then you might not come out and say, everybody must do this. But when they see a certain content that says, clean environment, do this, or you can aspire to this, you can be this, you can do this. Then gradually, when every individual goes through a change, then collectively the society changes as well. So it's a good approach that government can even use to connect to the citizens.
I love the cartoons, even though I thought that I was asking, even if I was not hearing the sound, I was seeing just the pictures, I could still get messages from it. How do you balance being a creative and then running a business? Because it's always, I always hear that thing like, as a creative, you need a free hand so that you can get ideas. And then, but with business, you always have to be hands-on. If not, it's going to run down. How do you get to balance both?
So it's a creative business. And in every type of business, you look for opportunities and monetize the opportunity.
Okay.
So it's either you're offering a service, where, okay, we do this, we're into production, we do animation, and then clients come to pay for those services. And then you're also thinking of creating products, right? Original content, for example, what we're doing with Breast Jamming, which gets people interested in the character, and then through that, people then get to buy the T-shirts, which is the product. So Breast Jamming itself is a product. So you see an opportunity of merchandising through that. But then we have to create the character, get people interested in it, to then get people interested in the product and merchandise.
Yeah.
So that's how we creatives sometimes we make the mistake of just thinking creatively in creating their creative work.
At this point,
I guess so. So they probably have to think of thinking creatively with creating opportunities for their creative work. So that's where creative business comes in.
Okay, all right. So you've talked about what did you say? Jamming?
Jamming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you've talked about it. We've seen the one with Lagos State and the likes. But on what platform can parents access it and play it for the children? Because
YouTube.
I would love to play it anytime, any day. It's beautiful. It's something that I would want to watch. And it's something I would want kids around me to watch. So on what platform, how can they have access to this beautiful work?
Okay, for the Lagos State animation, Lagos State SDG Invest.
Okay.
I think the animated content is there. For Breast Jamming, you can get it on. There's an Instagram page, Breast Jamming, at Breast Jamming. Yeah, you'll see all the content. So there's interesting content being posted regularly there, and you can see the T-shirts, you can see the animated content. For very easy learning, there's very easy learning on YouTube. We have what you call Happy Kids Learn.
Okay.
So it's Happy Kids Afrique. So Happy Kids Learn. So we're creating content. Yeah, we're creating content in that as well. Getting kids to learn about African countries, getting kids to learn about climate change and clean energy through music, sing-along music and all of that. So we're creating all of these platforms, which we're using YouTube mostly for now, Instagram to create. But yeah, we're looking to evolve into other platforms. Want to be at the cinema, want to...
Yes.
Yeah.
I look
We've done festivals mostly for most of our animated content. We've done animated music videos as well, because it's a form of expression too. I know Brother Shaggy approached us to do a music video with animation at some point. And yeah, so we're also trying to sell that. Animation is also a cool way to create content.
And send messages as well.
I'm
a particular about educational institutions marrying into this idea, because again, we have all agreed that children, the universe learn differently, humans learn differently, and this is an avenue for us to tap into, but it's looking like it is not there yet. A lot of people have not still embraced it. I don't know, because of the cost, right? But what else could be the reason why we have not fully embraced it as also an avenue to learn?
Well, I mean, for the educational institutions, I think they have their curriculum.
Yeah.
So it's either we can create, that's why, for example, the approach would be for us to create and then people to them to show it to their
kids.
But it might be too expensive for each institution, for example, to create content specific to them.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's something government can then create, for example, at that level, and then institutions can have access to it.
Okay.
So that's one approach, But some of these things, it has to. We've been trying to pitch stuff, but yeah, it has to come from a very high level, or it can come from private sector as well, where we have the content, kids can have access to it after school, for example, where okay, the kids go to school, they learn, but sometimes you have kids that don't understand what they've learned.
Yes.
And you have kids that you want to improve.
Yes.
on
Constantly
their
be with them.
learning.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's left for us to create content. So is it going to be free? Is it going to be monetized? And that's several edtech platforms have been trying to tweak it in Nigeria. The edtech area is another discussion entirely how it's a challenge getting to monetize edtech platforms, and how there are different kinds, where you have some that are catering to the people that want to upskill, maybe learn tech. I think those are like the most successful ones.
Okay.
And then, and then you have the ones that are targeted towards children. So those are, still driven by passion, but still evolving in that, okay, after parents have paid for school fees and all of that, how much will they pay for additional content? Some will pay for extra lesson teachers and all of that. Yeah, but when they look at it, okay, maybe after subscribing to this streaming movie streaming platform or this, okay, let me subscribe to one for my kid as well. So that way, more edtech platforms can come up, and then we can create solutions that would work for local solutions. Create content that would work for our own learning needs. Explain certain concepts with things that kids can see around them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so we've talked, or rather, most times we see animation, cartoon, and the rest, storytelling as just the content or creativeness, this or that. We're not talking about the lucrative part of it.
Yeah.
How lucrative is animation, being a cartoonist? The money.
It's something you want to
It's very
encourage somebody to go
important.
into.
How is the business? Is it profitable for people to go in there and say, yes, there is money in this thing?
Well, the creative industry, I think it can be thrown open to the whole creative. So most people are driven by passion but you have to, based on your environment, you have to think of it as a business as well. While in other countries, maybe you can be a studio that will just focus on producing your own original content. Like anime studios will just create their anime, and then that would sustain the business, the animation business. But as we see for most production or most creative companies in Nigeria, it has to be augmented with the service as well. Like, okay, you're offering animation services to companies, to brands, you're still doing advertising, production, and all of that. But it would be awesome to have a great way to distribute original animation content. And so it's growing. The animation industry is growing. I'm sure you don't see as much animation in the cinema, for example. And as but there's collaborations with animation studios. Recently, we also did an opening title for a movie at the cinema. Grandpa Must Obey. It's at the cinema.
Grandpa
Must obey.
Yeah. So it's like about kids and all of that. So I mean, the opening title was animated. The closing title was animated. So these are collaborations that are forming gradually. So, and then some animation titles are in development as well. We're also working towards one. So maybe in the next few years, you'll see more feature-length animation films in the cinema that can take feature-length Nigerian animation films made in Nigeria. Because you have some Nigerian stories. You mentioned Iyanu and all of that, which was more of a collaboration with studios outside Nigeria. Yeah, the Disney's, Iyanu, and all of that. So for studios in Nigeria, gradually we'll get to the point where we have our animation shown in the cinemas. Though we have some that are shown, But we need people to embrace it more so that it
can
will be more regular.
Yeah.
And then we can expand
I know you did mention that it's capital intensive, right, to run something like this. How can young creators position themselves to the point where investors can capitalize and help them grow?
Just create something different, create something unique. We have people that have created stuff and it just goes viral, and
even
in the area of AI, for example, AI gives everyone the opportunity to create something at least. So if you have an idea, and before you are able to, so it's also, we're talking about AI and how you can use it to research. So it can also be like a test. You can use it to test certain concepts. So do like a test content, and then measure the reaction, the impact, and then you can say, okay, this has garnered this interest. So let's get the feature length project rolling. Let's get the full project rolling.
And somebody might just come and invest.
So just create posts. Try and be visible in what you're doing. So I mean, in the creative field, that's where we have social media now. We can post. We can share what we are creating. We don't have to create in a box. We have to open up to the world, and then maybe the world will open up to us.
Okay, looking at other young people, some youth that are out there that are just about coming into the industry. If you have 5 words to tell someone who is coming into the industry right now, new, what would you tell them?
Learn, be creative, think ideas, be unique, and don't be afraid. I think that last part is very important.
Don't be afraid. What does that mean?
Meaning that at the moment, it's not the creative industry is not it offers great opportunities, right? But it's something you have to be bold and be passionate about. So you don't create one and because it doesn't work out, you give up.
Yeah.
So if you create one and it doesn't work, create another. Don't be afraid to keep exploring. Don't be afraid to keep creating.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of step backs. Create. The world is waiting for you. And it's getting bigger and more exciting. Especially animation. It's a growing industry. More people are coming in. And we need more people to come in. We need more animators.
With the number of people coming in, do you think the government, through the Nigeria Video and Film Censors Board and any other body that is associated with the creative industry, do you think they are doing enough promoting our Nigeria animation content?
Well, I don't think it's the government is doing enough.
Okay.
And then I think it boils although there's been the creation of certain funds, but we need more to be created. We need more specific, for example, for animation, it can always get better. The funding pool can get bigger because it has the opportunity. It's to create millions of jobs.
Okay.
With the right financing and with the right structure, so they can always do more. The private sector can also do more. Investors can invest in the creative industry. Apart from the government, private sector can definitely. Because if we create a robust industry, it would be beneficial to the young people who are the next generation. So both government and then private sector should come into it, and let's create something amazing, because it's a good export that you can see, just like our music. And then the film, animation is a great way to export our culture, because there's certain stories that you can tell with animation that it might be a bit difficult to tell with film. You can go 1,000 years ago and create certain characters that existed then. tell our history from 100 years ago with animation, and then it's a good export to take to other parts of the world. Yeah.
It is. I totally agree with that.
I appreciate the fact that you've been able to break this down and you've seen the opportunities that exist in it. I just hope that a lot of young people, especially young people, well, I'm not saying the old ones may not relate, but more young people are seeing that opportunities exist here, not just for them to be able to creative and show how creative they are. There's also a business opportunity that is lying there waiting. You just showed us that there's an ecosystem that is not filled yet, right? And there are so many people who are out there creating content who need to upscale. So if they, of course, listen to this conversation, I'm sure they're going to see so many opportunities that they need to explore so that they can also get better at whatever it is they're doing.
And of course, Just Africa is a very good platform to showcase this kind of content.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
I agree.
we need more of this, and of course, you know, we can partner with you.
Yeah,
And it comes,
absolutely.
you
That's why I'm
understand?
here.
Exactly. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
So if you're not creating, you're not doing cartoon, you're not doing any of that, what do you do? How do you spend your leisure time?
I watch movies, I watch animation.
Oh, well. I'm going to say that eat.
I mean, everybody eats. Definitely eat, go out,
Yeah.
maybe relaxing places.
Yes, what's the plan for Christmas? Christmas is tomorrow. How do you
tomorrow.
see, what's preparation? How you doing? When are we?
Maybe with family. Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, family. I believe it's going to be just a cool
Yes, the call.
maybe lunch, dinner with family.
And yeah, can you wish your fans, your family, Merry Christmas and a happy New Year?
Merry Christmas, everyone. I wish you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we're looking forward to an exciting 2026.
Yes, we are
Yes,
looking
we are.
forward to it. Thank you very much Jimmy,
Thanks.
for coming on the show.
Yeah.
We are really, really happy for your beautiful insights and for bringing a new light that, yes, Africans can tell our story ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't really need outsiders to come tell our own story because they will not tell it the way we would.
Yeah.
So thank you once again for coming. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I hope when we'll call you next time, you're not going to decline.
Absolutely. I mean,
You'll be here.
I'll be here in a jiffy.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, Amulo.
I've learned that animation is not only entertainment anymore. You can use it to educate, you can use it to preserve culture, improve language learning, or learning generally. And I like the fact that, again, I'm emphasizing it, that we've seen the opportunities out there that are still laying dormant that we need to explore. A lot of us need to. We can't even have enough, just like he said.
Yeah.
There are so many spaces that need to be filled. There are illustrators, there are animators, and we can just create this strong ecosystem and then stand out and make the continent also look like it's something that we can harness. And when he was talking about telling stories from way back when, you can't get those people again, but you can create, animations that can still tell these stories and continue to live their legacies. I mean, it's a fantastic one that we need to explore.
Yes, and a very big thank you to you, dear viewers, for staying tuned and for learning about animation, cartoons, storytelling, of course, the African languages. Yes, thank you once again from Silk News Television, and we are wishing you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. We are not closing because we'll still be here tomorrow to have the Christmas edition of Just Africa. I am Omevi Idolo. You can follow us on all our social media platforms at Silk News TV and subscribe to the Just Africa show on the YouTube channel at Just Africa. Thank you once again for joining us. Stay with us and see you tomorrow.